Hello everybody, I'm Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online Shadowbringers. In the last episode, we returned to Amareng, Mordzuk, to kind of rest up a bit, kind of go over where we're at. And as it turns out, the young lady who attacked us when we first fired up Eden, regained consciousness. She appears to be a free citizen of Eorzea, or used to be anyway, but has no memory of flying out of the empty and attacking us at Eden. So she doesn't know what happened there. Though she does apparently have this fairy within her, as she calls it, that kind of tells her to do things and gives her the ability to use magic. So that's interesting. She also has something of a personality. So she wanted to come out here to help, to participate in our efforts here at Eden, because she thinks it may lead her to better understanding the fairy and what it may be trying to do with her. So, fair enough. She can join us if she likes. So, we are back here in the empty, and we need to proceed on to the next stage of the quests here. So let's go ahead and talk to Gaia, and figure out what we're going to do next. Blood and Thunder, okay? Gaia is lost in thought as she gazes toward the silent giant on the horizon. I know what it's like. It was the same for me. But I was lucky, because Thancred freed me from Eorzea and I had a chance to see the world. More importantly, though, I met all kinds of people, and they taught me not to live in another shadow, but to be myself. Maybe one day you'll have that chance, too. Said your piece, have you? One day? What's that supposed to mean? I don't know how the Great Oracle of Light sees such things, but for someone like me who's only known life in Eorzea, there was no tomorrow, there was no future, there was only the here and now. And while we waste time on these meaningless conversations, I feel each moment of my life slipping away. Time, it won't wait. Not for me, not for anyone. I don't know how much longer I can hold on to who I am. I'm sorry, Gaia. Gaia? That's probably not even my real name. It isn't? When Thancred asked me my name, I couldn't remember. That's when the fairy whispered to me, Gaia. But if you grew up in Eorzea, surely someone there must know who you are. Everyone I once knew had either disappeared or been turned into sin-eaters. Those whose faces and names I still remember, that is. In the end, we found not a single person who so much as recognized me. As far as I can recall, I have never been the most sociable person, but still. Well, even if it's not your real name, I think Gaia sounds lovely. If you're happy with it, then that's what I'll call you. And if you're willing, instead of the Oracle of Light, please call me Reen. It's not the name I was born with, that's long forgotten now, but the one the people whom I consider family gave to me. Is that so? As much as I'd love to keep up this chatting, there's something that's bothering me. I thought the fairy would have reacted to Eden in some way, but so far, nothing whatsoever. From what I gather, it wasn't until Eden started moving that I appeared out of the blue. Perhaps if you were to actually try flying it somewhere, the fairy might break its silence. if you've got elements to restore or whatever it was, why don't you hurry up and get it over with? You need to learn some manners. And you need to stop wasting my time. Oh, well, excuse me, princess. Alright, everyone. I think we've talked enough, talked for long enough. If you're ready, let's make our way to Eden. Alright, so let's head back into Eden's core. Let's have a chat with Eorzea. So let's see what's next. Alright, following the initial changes wrought by the release of water and earth, the empty hath displayed no further signs of alteration. Stability, some may call this, and be satisfied, but in truth it is passivity. A passivity stemming from light's ever-pervasive presence. If we are to break the status quo, we must needs employ a catalyst. A third element that shall rouse and stabilize those unleashed energies in activity. Therefore, I propose lightning. So the primal will be Ramuh, yes? From what I've heard, he's a guardian of the forest and not particularly keen on conflict, but you've actually fought him, haven't you? Half man, half beard, and another half beard for good measure. Indeed. Yes, Thancred mentioned that he more closely resembles a person than a beast, unlike most other primals, and apparently he tends not to move about much. I'm glad to see our lessons have paid off. Well, it's like you say, if we want to call forth an accurate representation of the primal, I should picture it in my mind as clearly as possible at the very least. It's worth a try, but the rest is up to Ayame. In order for this to work, we need to actually fly somewhere, yes? So rather than sitting in one spot while you exchange anecdotes, why don't you get this blasted thing moving first? One must admit, the suggestion is not without merit. Reen, might I suggest the Gandalf Thunder Plains as our next location? These plains, it is writ, were perpetually blanketed in storm clouds, the only source of illumination, the ceaseless barrage of lightning. The ambient ether that lingereth there shall provide ideal conditions for the summoning. Is that a Final Fantasy X reference? I can't remember. Then that's where we're heading. Come on, Eden, we've got a job to do. This should be as good a spot as any. Alright, Ayame, whenever you're ready. Memories of Ramuh flash through your mind. Eden's verse, Fulmination, is now accessible. Alright. Well, there really isn't much else to do other than, Yes, I'm aware of the weekly reward limits thing. Which we can only get one thing a week. Unlike the other ones where we can get as much as we want. You get one reward per week per battle. Alright, well, I guess we'll go ahead and queue in. Eden's Verse Fulmination. And we shall see. Actually, I'm going to withdraw. Because I need to review this, because I have never done it before. So I'm going to go ahead and pause here and take care of that, and then we'll queue in. Alright. I have familiarized myself. It appears rather crazy, so let's head in there and see what this is going to do. Of all the things that we're short on, it's DPS. I unfortunately do not have a level 80 DPS. Alright, well, I guess I'll go ahead and pause here, and, again. And, we'll wait and, see if some DPS show up. Alright, so I guess I'll be back when this is ready. Alright, looks like we're ready, so let's go ahead. This is my first time doing this one, and we'll see how it goes.
There's no
Yes.
turning back. Get ready.
Definitely a Final Fantasy X reference. Alright, and there's our version of Ramuh.
So, this is Ramuh.
It's kind of combined with Ixion. Alright, the other guy wants the main tank, so we'll let him. Alright, I want to kind of zoom out here so that I can see the whole platform. Okay, so it's going to bring two down. Okay, we want to find the small one and head in that direction. Because that one is going to get hit by lightning. Massive AoE. You will be dead if you're in there. Okay. This is the big Raid Wide Blast. Okay, we want to make sure you pick up some of that. You maintain the Surge Protection buff. I'll grab a couple stacks of it. Sure, why not? You don't want to stack it higher than 3 if you can avoid. Because if you don't have a Surge Protection buff, you will die if you get hit by that. I'll go ahead and stack that back up to 2. Okay, he's summoning this thing. It's a knockback. Be close to it. Not in it. Okay, summoning Ixians. I think those are. Yep, those are Ixians. Get away from the big ones and towards the small one. Someone didn't quite make it out. Alright, I'm going to grab a couple of those. Here comes the, AoEs you gotta dance around. There you go. Just gotta check my stacks. Okay. Oh, they stacked the storm clouds. That's going to be a bit of a problem. All right, renew my surge protection stacks. Surge protection is about to run out. Okay. These things again. Those two need to get apart. There you go. Alright. Need to grab at least one orb. Okay, oh boy, this is going to be interesting. You got to find a free lane here and get close to the middle. Seems going fairly well. Getting a little low, need to replenish that. Surprised someone hasn't fired the limit break yet. Well, I think they're waiting for tier 3, but I don't think we're going to hit it. Hey, there it goes. Okay, actually that wasn't as bad as it looked. Alright, I'll give that out to the other tank, and then we'll roll for loot. Which, I got the helmet, it would seem. And because you can only get one piece per week, I'll have to pass on everything else. Alright, there we go. So, let's go ahead and turn this in with Reen. Alright, I thought I was prepared to expect anything, but I didn't expect Ramuh to turn out quite like that. Appearance aside, he was quite aggressive as well. The Sylph's belief in him as a kindly guardian clearly makes a difference to his temperament. Anyway, I'm just glad it's over. Let's get back to the camp and see if anything's changed. Alright, we'll grab that. So let's see what's changed. Well, besides the color of the crystal, not much really. The crystal's a different color, but apart from that, it all looks the same. It may look the same, but it feels different. The air has grown slightly more humid, as it does before rain. I have to say, I'm not exactly prepared for wet weather. If Eden can control elements and so on, can't you tell it to send those clouds somewhere else? Speaking of which, I'm not very impressed with its so-called powers. If changing yellow crystals to purple is the extent of its abilities, it's no surprise the fairy didn't bother showing up. I hope that whatever's next is more worthwhile. Rather than influencing the ground beneath our feet, Eden hath brought a change to the firmament above. And yet 'tis clear that a more dynamic element is required for the natural cycle of precipitation and evaporation to be complete. So we need movement. Would wind do the trick? Most certainly. It seems we have a plan. Let's not dwell much on the effects of each individual element and instead focus on seeing them all restored. The power of an oracle. Not to be sniffed at, it seems. Alright, all my life you were a constant companion, your voice ever seeping into my mind. Why then, of all times, did you abandon me? Deaf even to the crashing of thunder, or were you simply biding your time? Alright, so I guess Garuda is going to be next. But we'll go ahead and stop here. And we'll press on to that for next episode. So for now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.